Good morning to all my friends and family, and welcome to this 2022 episode of Jim's 5am Club. As you can see, I'm back at work after a couple of weeks off on holiday. It's strange to be back, but it's also wonderful to be back at work and to know that I've got something to come back to. We can't go on holidays and stay on holidays all our lives. Otherwise, holidays and vacations would lose their appeal. Anyway, this is the first book summary I'm doing from a business perspective now that I'm back at work. And the book summary that I'm going to do today is a wonderful one. It's a book that I remember reading myself a number of years ago, and it's entitled The Millionaire Next Door by Thomas Stanley. It was written in 1996, but it's just as valid and relevant now as what it will be in 100 years and what it would have been a couple of hundred years or a couple of thousand years ago. The Millionaire Next Door is all about trying to identify the things that make people accumulate wealth, because not everybody who looks wealthy is wealthy. I came back from Nelson Bay, for example, and a group of people came in and they were all driving Porsches, and they had their flash watches and all the accessories of wealth. And as my uncle in Greece, Theotaki Baldas, said, that there are people who are wealthy and there are people who appear wealthy. And this book here is a book which just analyses and looks into that, because what happened is, and the basis of this book and this analysis and this research all came about by luck, I guess you can put it. A number of years ago, a research house was identified and asked to do some research on where the wealthy people are, who the wealthy people are, who are the ones who have high net worth, so that an organisation can go out there and market their products to the high net worth individuals. And what this research showed was that the people who you thought were wealthy and well-to-do, the ones with the flash cars, the ones with the flash expense accounts, the ones who were travelling all over the world, who spent money on clothes and all of those things, they weren't really the people. Those postcodes weren't really the postcodes of the ones who had a high net worth, but they were the postcodes, and they were the identities of people who wanted to live the life of the rich and famous, to appear rich and famous, but weren't the ones who had the dollars and the assets to support that image. A number of years ago, I read a quote which said that people spend money that they don't have to buy things that they don't need, to impress people that they don't like. And this book is probably identifying that set of people, because the author in this book says quite clearly that whatever your income is, you always need to live below those means in order to accumulate wealth and to maintain your wealth. There is a level of frugality that is needed, and you'll find that the people who have money sometimes spend their money, but they spend it frugally. They spend it on things which are going to give them the biggest bang for their buck, not to show off, but to make the most of that spending. So this book is a book which is a study of the affluent versus the under-accumulators of wealth, the UAWs. Because becoming wealthy isn't rocket science. All you need to do, according to the authors here, is to plan well, to live below your means, and to avoid stupid mistakes and repeated stupid mistakes which deplete wealth and cause issues down the track. So the first formal point to come out of this book is where the author says that we need to save responsibly from the moment you first start earning. And you need to basically save more than what you need to live. So, each and every one of us have a certain, desire to live a certain lifestyle. But we need to understand that that lifestyle is going to be the albatross around your neck should you be spending and living beyond your means. Most people, according to the authors, spend money they don't have, and this is an issue, a problem. So the authors identified groups of people that have made it and have accumulated wealth, not only for their generation but for future generations. But what got them there was a program of deliberate savings. The second formal point to come out of this book is where the author talks about the ability to calculate. Calculate if you're not reaching your total potential is the key element within the equation. So let me just delve a little bit more deeply into this concept. What the authors say is that what you need to do to get a basic indicator of how much you need. Let me just have a look. Yeah, I'll just wait till the next train. Is you need to multiply your age by your pre-tax income and then divide it by 10 to try and figure out how you're tracking. So the authors remind us of the power of compounding, and by spending too much, the money that you spend is compounding as well. Just like your savings are compounding, so too is the money that you waste on things. It compounds over time. So, you go and spend money on a prestige vehicle. The money you spend on that vehicle, you could have spent on an asset that will increase in value. But most vehicles decrease in value. So what the author is saying is that not only is there an opportunity cost in wasting your money on a prestige vehicle, but that vehicle is also depreciating. So it's a double whammy. You're losing from your asset, so the money that you've invested, that you've spent, is being depleted and reduced, plus the opportunity cost of putting that money into an investment that is going to grow in value is also depleting, and you're losing from there as well. So avoid spending too much money on things which don't increase in value and don't put you in a better position later in life. There's no use having a big hat and having no cattle. A lot of people appear affluent but are basically paupers, dressed and appearing to be wealthy. So the third formal point to come out of this book is a call to action to don't fall for economic outpatient care, to see your bank account go to 7 figures. You need to start saving, start being diligent from a young age, because time is your time, according to the author, is what's going to get you lots of money in the bank for the years that you need it most. Let me just jump on the train and I'll continue the vlog.
Reedsby, Panania, East Hills, Holsworthy, Glenfield, then all stations to Hamilton, and then...
So according to the author here, it is critical. It is critical to start saving and investing early in life, rather than blowing that money on vehicles, experiences, clothes and other things which are not going to be assets in any way, shape or form. But what we're saying is we don't go without, but we are careful in those early years. Because what happens is what you do from a young age impacts what you do at a later age. You don't want to hurt your future. You don't want to hurt your children's ability to manage money. But what you want to do is make sure that we gain experience from a young age in terms of how we apply money and use money. Because lifestyle is the greatest killer of savings, and it's the greatest killer of wealth creation. So don't waste your rich parents' money on buying things and reducing and limiting your future. Don't spoil your kids by poor savings and poor investment decisions. Make sure that you're wiring them for growth and development, rather than wiring them up for massive pain and suffering. So the other thing they found was that the people that had the most money, the families which had the most assets, were the ones that were hard to identify. They didn't stand out. They didn't drive the flash cars. They didn't live in the flash houses. They didn't travel the world. They didn't have the lifestyle, the restaurants and all of those things that you'd think that they'd have.
This train will stop at
Not only
St. James.
didn't they live the lifestyle, but their children didn't even know how wealthy their parents were until they died, and all of a sudden they'd inherited vast amounts of wealth. So it's all about living a modest lifestyle. I know that I went to a private school, my daughters went to private schools, and what you did see among the parents was a lot of wealth being flashed about. Middle class Australians live modestly, and if you're driving around with a flash car and you're showing off, then they tend to try and shy away from you rather than to welcome you into their circle. So it's all about being, I guess, modest with your lifestyle, without, of course, not making the most of the important opportunities. Anyway, I think I'll leave it there. So thank you very much for joining me in this episode of Jim's 5am Club. I was running a little bit late this morning because my battery in the car had died, given that I was away for 2 weeks and the car hadn't been moved and used. But I walked to the train station, to the bus stop that I'll sort it out this afternoon, and hopefully I can come to you again with another message of empowerment from a different location. Take care, everybody. Have a great Monday, a great start to the week. For those who are starting work today, Happy New Year, and may we get on top of this COVID and may we see the outcome of the Novak Djokovic case today. But if Australia can't sort a tennis player out, what chance do we have as a nation to sort out bullies and selfish entities like China? Let's see what happens today, but I look forward to watching the circus. Take care and bye for now.